The official closed alpha test for Marvel Rivals is on the horizon. We're finally going to be able to get our hands on with this game. There's a ton of characters that we know are going to be in the game that we're all really excited to try out. For me, Marvel Rivals looks like a ton of fun. I can't wait to jump in. My fingers are crossed extra tight that I'm going to be able to get in that closed alpha test. I would love to get my hands on it and playing with you guys. And yeah, we've had a ton of characters already revealed for this game. We know of a lot of characters we're going to be able to play as, some that we haven't seen gameplay for and a lot that we've seen gameplay for from that reveal trailer. But I wanted to go over 7 characters that I think need to be in Marvel Rivals, a lot of which I honestly think have a very good chance to join the roster. But I also wanted to go over the way these characters can work within gameplay and specifically the team-up attacks. That's a big feature that's available in Marvel Rivals. You know, we saw in that reveal trailer that Hulk can team up with Iron Man by shooting him some gamma radiation that then lets him do an enhanced unibeam. Or, you know, Rocket can team up with Groot. Obviously, Rocket rides on Groot's shoulder. So that's a big part of the list that I wanted to go over, how these characters are going to fit within the game overall, and then as well what their team up attacks could be. And the first character that I have on my list is Wolverine. Again, a character I think has a very good chance at showing up in Marvel Rivals. This is a really popular X-Men character. They've already picked some X-Men characters like Storm, Magneto, Scarlet Witch in there too. So how are you not going to pick what is, for most people, the most popular X-Men, that being Wolverine? He would of course be a brawler type character with the claws. He's not going to really have a projectile unless they want to do something where he can create a spark with the 2 claws. And then of course there'll be some sort of ability for the character where he can heal himself because he's got the healing factor. When it comes to team up attacks, I think that he can team up with you guys and scroll down hitting the thumbs up button on this video. But for real though, the team up attack that I think would be great for Wolverine is the fastball special. Now Colossus is not in the game as far as we know, but Magneto is. Magneto is the master of magnetism. Wolverine's got all that adamantium in his body. The team up attack here could be the fastball special by Magneto grabbing him and just tossing him with his powers. And who knows what kind of damage that can create, maybe wherever Wolverine lands because he's going at such a high velocity, it creates some sort of explosion. There's a lot of fun that could be had there. Next up on my list is another X-Men. This is my favorite X-Men character ever, a character that I feel is finally getting the treatment he has deserved with X-Men 97. My boy Cyclops. I feel like this character could fit so easily in a game like Marvel Rivals, obviously being projectile based, having the optic blast, and there's tons of things that you can do with just that, but also he'd be good at hand-to-hand combat so you can get up close and personal. And the team up attack, it's easy. If Wolverine shows up in this game, you team up with Wolverine. He pulls out his claws, you shoot the optic blast at him, and it creates a bunch of different optic blasts in several directions. Not to mention too, for these X-Men characters, Wolverine and Cyclops, when it comes to alternate suits and skins that they're going to add into the game that we're probably going to have to pay real money for, it would look really good. Tons of options for, I mean, all of the characters that have been revealed so far, and as well the characters on my list here when it comes to alternate looks. Next up though is a character I'm not 100% sure is going to show up, but I honestly do think has a good chance at showing up in the game, that being Venom. Now I know we have Spider-Man and there could be some similarities in terms of maybe traversal and somewhat in gameplay if you're going to have someone like Venom in the game to Spider-Man, him swinging with the symbiote. But outside of that, I mean, they're drastically different. Venom being this big brute character, him having the symbiote, all the different things that you can do with that. Look at something like Marvel vs. Capcom for inspiration. And then in terms of team up attacks, oh, it's so easy. Just team up with Spider-Man, you give him a bit of the symbiote, and now Spider-Man has some enhanced abilities. And again, Venom would be a really fun addition to the roster for just the alternate looks and designs that we can see. I would be really excited to see even what his base design would look like, considering what we're going for in terms of the art style within Marvel Rivals. Lots of potential with a character like Venom. But moving on, next up, we're now going to jump to Marvel's first family, the Fantastic Four. The actual lore of Marvel Rivals has a lot to do with Doctor Doom and something to do with like a Doctor Doom from the future. So I'm sure the Fantastic Four are going to be involved in this game, whether it be from the lore tidbits or as playable characters. It would just make sense. And out of the 4 characters of the Fantastic Four, I would really like to see the Human Torch. Any excuse to have a character that can fly around is good by me. Of course, as well, you know, he can use his fire abilities as projectiles. Hey, if you played Valorant as well, he can make like a firewall as sort of a defensive ability. And when it came to his team of attacks, I couldn't really think of something. It was really difficult, honestly, because there's a lot of characters on the roster that I'm not sure how he could work with. Originally, I was thinking maybe you could do a team up attack with someone like Namor or Luna Snow, something that would be similar to what they do to defeat Doctor Doom in the original Fantastic Four movie. But the way that they defeat him applies to Doctor Doom specifically because, well, he's wearing all this metal, and in the context of the movie, his skin was sort of turning metal. So I'm not sure if the way that they defeat Doctor Doom in that film would work on just anybody. So maybe we'll suspend our disbelief and we could do something like that as a team-up attack. But otherwise, I mean, I imagine we're gonna have other Fantastic Four characters in here. Sue Storm, Mr. Fantastic. You could just team up with them. Moving on though, a character that I think as well is very obvious to show up in Marvel Rivals. This one is a no-brainer. He's one of the main Avengers. He's the leader of the Avengers, Captain America. Now, they just recently gave us a look at the Tokyo 2099 stage that's going to be in this game, and there's an arcade cabinet during the little preview that they showed of the stage that has a face-off between Doctor Doom and Captain America on it. So I feel like that's sort of hinting that Captain America is going to show up in this game. I think as well that Doctor Doom is going to end up being a playable character. He's the main villain of the lore for this game, and the gameplay just comes so easy for a character like Captain America. He can toss the shield, he can use it defensively, maybe he can even be somewhat of a support character. Maybe his team-up attack could be with anybody on the roster by tossing the shield to them so then they can use it. He can reflect incoming projectiles so that they bounce right back at you, and he can also have another team-up attack that's similar to like the first Avengers movie when Iron Man shoots his repulsor blast at the shield and then it reflects off of it, you know, it ricochets and then it goes across. This could also be another way that we get kind of the comic book iconography with Captain America versus Iron Man, you know, the repulsor blast going against the shield. That could be a lot of fun. And like I said, out of a lot of the characters here on this wish list, Captain America is like a lock. You can bet your bottom dollar he's going to show up in this game at some point or another. Whether he's in the base roster or not, I don't know. Another really obvious Avenger, one that we actually just recently got kind of teased to us when we got that Loki gameplay trailer, that being Loki's brother, Thor. There's just no way that you have a game like Marvel Rivals, this big hero shooter, and you don't have iconic Marvel heroes like Thor. He can fly around with the hammer, you know, he can use the hammer as a melee weapon or use it as a projectile with the lightning. And when it comes to a team-up attack, you know, the way that Hulk teams up with Iron Man by throwing the gamma radiation at him, we can have Thor team up with Iron Man by overcharging the suit, kind of like, again, that first Avengers movie. He also does a similar thing in Avengers Endgame. You know, Iron Man tells him to juice him up with his suit, and then he can shoot this insane repulsor blast at Thanos. Things like that. It's just so easy, and there's tons of source material, whether it's from the movies or even the comic books that you can pull from to create some super fun team-up attacks for the character in the game. And yeah, we just recently got that Loki gameplay teaser, and when they gave us the description of Loki's lore in this game, it does hint at Thor. I just don't think that there's any way he's not going to show up. Again, I don't know if he'll be in the base roster, but he's going to be in the game. And then finally, the seventh character that I would like to see in Marvel Rivals, he is inevitable. That's right, the mighty Thanos, the final boss of the Marvel Universe, if you will. I love Thanos as a character, and I think he could work so well in a game like Marvel Rivals. I mean, just imagine the amount of abilities you'd have at your disposal if this character were to have all the Infinity Stones. And team-up attacks is so easy too. He could team up with any of the other villains by giving them a stone. Or maybe he'll like charge them up with one of the stones. Who knows? And if you think that that would be a little OP if a character like Thanos would have all 6 Infinity Stones and be able to use them in his gameplay, well then the character of Thanos is still very powerful without them. But I mean, let's be honest, we could suspend our disbelief for Thanos having the 6 Infinity Stones and being able to use them. It's a fun hero shooter at the end of the day. Let's just go buck wild. And there you have it. That is 7 characters that I would like to see in Marvel Rivals, some of the team-up attacks that these characters can do, and as well some of the abilities that I think these characters can have. Of course, like I said, that closed alpha test, it's right around the corner. It's so close, and if I do get into it, I'm going to be bringing you guys tons of gameplay for the game, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you got notifications on. You don't want to miss a thing. And with that being said, let me now kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section below. What characters do you want to see the most in this game? I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.